it for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
S-I-C-K,
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. CF Montreal Talk.
Here's the chance. Here's the chance. They've got the goal. Absolutely incredible. Cameron Porter delivers the goal to send Montreal Impact into the CONCACAF Champions League semi-final.
The sickest CF Montreal podcast. Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. Playground. Your premier gaming destination. Complete Striker. And Innov Sport.
Collaborer avec Innov Sport, une compagnie d'ici afin de dynamiser l'apprentissage et la pratique du sport pour tous et partout.
Les différents produits permettent de rester actif tout en développant sa confiance, son autonomie et sa technique. Des produits efficaces, progressifs et personnalisés avec le logo de votre école.
Innov Sport, pour tous et partout.
It's gonna be sick.
It's Monday, May 27, Marinaro. It is the Sick Podcast, CF Montreal Talk. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and thank you for watching on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. We are live, as we usually are on Mondays, all depending on which time, but right now it is just a couple of minutes past 1 p.m. Eastern Time. CF Montreal did indeed play on Saturday. They had one win in their last 12 games going into the game, and now you can make it one win in their last 13. Mind you, it was not a loss, and that's good news. It was a tie, and now whether the tie felt more like a win or a loss, to find out, I bring in Ali Gerba and Patrice Bernier. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tony. Good afternoon, Ali. Good afternoon to everybody listening.
Yes, thanks for doing this, guys. Without further ado, why don't we jump right into it? Actually, before we get to the starting lineup, Pat, we're hearing that President Gabriel Gervais went to talk to the players, and, I don't know if it was a wake-up call or basically it was, come on, guys, like, we need a win here. Let's go. But he let them know that, things are running smoothly within the club with the exception of the results on the field. And right now, everyone wasn't looking very good, and it was time to turn it around. I have a difficult question for you from the start. It's a very difficult one.
Whoa.
Okay. And that is, as a player, when you're addressed by the president or you're addressed by the president who right now is assuming the sporting role on an interim basis, you personally, what stimulates you more? Is it someone who speaks calmly? Is it someone who puts a little bit of pressure on the group? Is it someone who comes at you with a little bit of fire? And the reason why I ask that is because, and you played with Gabriel and I never did, so I don't know, but Gabriel was a very elegant player. He's a player who was a very positional player. He was an excellent player in the league back in the day when he played, one of the best at his position, but never came across as a guy who had this fire. I don't want to say that he was not a leader and he was a follower, because that would be strong and that would not be knowing him. But I would say that there was a more of a calm presence than a fiery presence, unlike a Nick DeSantis or a John Limniadis for that matter, right? Your thoughts on that? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know, but at the stage that they're at, Ali knows you needed somebody from the club, because now we all know there's no sports director. So Gabriel is now heading the sports section and also representing the club, where the coach has talked. The players, they know, maybe the leaders have talked, and you needed somebody from the organization that goes, guys, I understand this is a tough period, but there needs to be a little more effort. Like, there's losing and there's the way of losing. And now that the president goes in, or sports director in interim, it just shows like, look, we're in this together, but we need a little bit more. And he has been a player, so he knows what it's like in the locker room, that maybe guys are a bit on the fence. And you need a reassuring presence, because knowing all the turmoil of internally, if you talk about the position and administrative, sports director, all that stuff, you need somebody that goes, look, guys, even though one person is gone, you guys are steering the ship, because the players and the coach dictate the results. and dictates how we want to go. So he needed to show up and give reassurance to the group to say, look, we're in this together. Now let's go and get the bandwagon going again in the right direction in terms of just solely presence on the field, which I think we felt we saw against Nashville. No matter, we had Nick as a sports director, a technical director. They don't come in saying, hey, look, I've been in Germany. Ali knows. Some people come in and they hoorah, say this is hell or whatever. You need reassurance and saying, look, we're in this together and let's go. And maybe he up the tone a bit to say, look, guys, it's not good enough, but you don't need to yell because the players already know what type of pressure they're in. The coach knows, but you do need the presence of the club to say, look, it needs to be better, and we're in this together.
Great answer, Pat. But Ali, I want to get to this before, once again, we get to the starting 11 for CF Montreal and Nashville on the weekend. But, I want to go back to that loss versus Toronto because I'm telling you, I've been thinking about this. Like I've had it in my dreams or nightmares, in the last couple of weeks. Like I can't get over, Pat. Like I know even you, it must have bothered you, Pat, because when you played every game, you wanted to win. But when you played Toronto, you understood, Pat, the rivalry in the derby. And Ali, you understood the rivalry in the derby. And, I mentioned Nick before, and I haven't seen Nick in a long time, and I hope he's doing well. But, like you guys and, Nick, when he was there, you understood the meaning of Montreal versus Toronto. And it was like, obviously, you try and win every game. But if you're going to lose, you go out swinging. Like you leave blood, sweat, and tears on the field. And when Gabriele Corbo, once again, likes a tweet to Bernardeschi on the team of the week after he scores a hat trick, an offensive player on one team versus a center back on another team, and he's liking it. And I get the feeling that a lot of players on this team don't quite understand the meaning of this club, to the city, certain games, rivalries, derbies. Do we have that right now in the club, Ali? People who can not only just be there and fill a certain role and do a job, but to let everyone understand like what the history of the club is, what the rivalries are all about, and what it means to put on that jersey. Is it a stretch here today, or are we on the same page or not?
I think we're on the same page, but I'm going to tell you what I did. For me, before start saying those things, I called Patrice, and I was like, Patrice, tell me, maybe I'm not aware of it, but a couple of guys, they know what it means to us playing against Toronto or whatsoever. You know what? He gave me a good answer. I was like, you know what? You start naming different players. They've been there for a long time. They know the meaning of this game. You know what? Not only the Chouanier on the Pied, you know what? Wayama, all those guys, they know what it means. So for me, I was like, you know what? It wasn't, maybe they didn't know the meaning of the game. Because even me, I take it very personal. I didn't play the game, but I'm like, you know what? I would call some of our buddy in Toronto. The first thing they're gonna rub us on their face. I'm like, we smacked you the other day, so why you called me for? So, but we take proud of that. So, not a lot of people understand, but we have a group of people that the majority knew where they was going. Hostile territory. You know what? We have historic. Then, if you see a couple of years ago, the fan got at it. So you cannot say even the fan, they know how important this game is to them. Probably the game, the circle on the calendar, because they rather lose a game, they rather lose the league, but the game against Toronto, you better do something about it.
Anyway, look, I feel like, to start off the show, I feel like there's a void right now in the organization of that type of person, that type of character. I know there are people that played the game for CF Montreal, for the Montreal Impact for a long time, and they won championships. But it comes with I'm looking for a certain character as well, a certain personality as well. I think Nick DeSantis had it. I think there's a huge void in that regard right now in the organization. With all due respect to everyone, because everyone has their strengths, they have their weaknesses, they have their things that they're good at, things that they're less good at. I just think that there's that void. Now, anyway, they have the game.
I'll ask you. I think that you make the same conclusion that anybody, because we went there, we're expecting something. I'm not gonna lie, we're expecting something. We didn't see what we're expecting as a derby. I understand you know what, we all, we have that thing, we can't breathe.
Yeah, Ali mentioned it. Look, some of these guys have been there for years now. Wanyama, Corbo, this is not his first season.
Yeah, but Pat, Wanyama's checked out. Like,
yeah, but I know.
Maybe it's a strong word. Okay,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
These guys, they understand. Let's not forget, they had beaten Toronto 5 games in the row. So they understand the rivalry. Now, not showing up on that day, that bothers. Because you call Ali, no matter you call Nick DeSantis, Mauro Biello, or the new players, that game, for anybody, you're a fan, and especially when you're a person from Montreal, from Quebec, you understand there is I won't say hate, okay? It's too strong a word, but there's a dislike, that's for sure. We have to prove that we're better than you guys. And if you don't show up, then yeah, they have to feel that, guys, it's unacceptable. We can lose certain games in the league, but not like that and not to that team. And you don't need a Nick DeSantis to be in that locker room to understand that. You need people from the club, people from Montreal, and the others who've been there for a few years, they should know. But even though the Chouanière, the Vilsaint, the Piet, the Sirois, they carry that a lot more because Rida Zouir, Nathan Saliba, they're from the place. But the other ones who's been there for a few years, they know. I know Wanyama he's checked out. His role is not to go, guys, it's Toronto. But I mean, Corbo, the other ones who played, they know. So they know not what you're not supposed to do, not wearing red around the club and those days. They should know. Now, maybe the last few games, yeah, I can't say they're checked out, but they're not completely there mentally. Now, does it bother me that Corbo likes Bernardeschi? It doesn't really bother me that much. What bothers me is that on the game day,
it probably bothers the fans, though, Pat.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
The
fans are going to be like, you should not like anything of Toronto.
Yeah,
me personally, doesn't matter. But on that game, no matter if you lose, somebody got to feel your presence. That's for sure. They did that against Nashville because they understood. We just played bad the last few games and we got knocked out by a CPL team. But on that game, you either lose or somebody says next time around, we'll come around and you will know we'll be on a better day. But
I know this. I know this. I want to add. I now then go to you. Nick DeSantis, John Limniadis, Patrice Bernier, and Ali Gerba, Nevio Pizzolito in that locker room. Sandro Grande. Garbages are going to fly. There's going to be some shouting matches. There's going to be there's going to be everything. You know what? There might even be some finger pointing that might end up being internally a problem. But those are things that are an electroshock. Those are things that kind of revive the group and get everyone going. I don't think we have, once again, from the outside, I'm not in that locker room. I have no idea what a locker room feels like. I have no idea what a locker room sounds like. You know, they know just from the outside, based on the body language, and I get the feeling that doesn't happen in that locker room. But
I will ask, because we have to view to how the other team saw it. They came to embarrass us, and you're not going to tell me that John Newman have 5 games against Montreal, but he knew. The player they knew. Then if a game, then you know what, you cannot lose.
That game was circled on Herdman's calendar. And I have the feeling that he got his troops ready for it.
July 20th, because we all know
that
game is July 20th, is the return leg. So now that better be circled in the locker room to know, I don't care what the result is, but they will feel our presence and we will be at home.
Okay.
So that's something I hope in the locker room has been mentioned. And they go, guys, July 20th, remember.
Okay, let's get to the weekend that was. Let's bring up the starting 11 for CF Montreal if we can. All right, guys, it was a 3-4-2-1 for Laurent Courtois formation with Sirois in goal, a 3-man backline of Waterman, Corbo to his right, and Alvarez to his left for the first time, by the way, since a 1-0 loss versus DC United, if memory serves me well, back on the 30th of March. So those three haven't been together for a while. In front of the back line, Chouanière and Piet with Rouen at right wing back. We're used to seeing him in that role. Sosa at left wing back, not Lassiter, not Edwards, Sosa. Lassiter and Duke in behind Jules Anthony Vilsaint. Okay. Pat, I'll ask you a question on the back line. Ali, I'll ask you a question on the trio up top. What did you think of Waterman, Corbo, and Alvarez, and why do you think it's been a while since they've been together?
I really don't know why they haven't been together. There must have been a change of heart. Like we remember, it was Seattle. They put Sosa with Campbell and Waterman. They took 5, and they kept on going with them, and they had good results after that bad defeat to Seattle. Corbo, for whatever reason, was out. I think they're a good match. They seem to do well. We mentioned this, I think, in the I don't know if he has Laurent Courtois to choose when he plays at home a certain back three and when he plays away another type of back three. But because I like Corbo on the ball, I know what Campbell brings. He's able to carry the ball. But the back three seems solid. They played Nashville. They had a decent result, a decent performance in terms of the engagement. We saw guys who checked in. Waterman probably played his best game. He was everywhere, and he even prevented a goal. So now I like this three. I liked them before at the beginning of the year to know why. There's always reasons who you're playing against, or also people who were supposed to probably play and weren't fit at the time. Now the interesting part was Sosa on the left back, because we know Edwards is just coming now, joining training. But putting Sosa now, not bad.
Wing back. But of course, when he's defending, he ends up becoming a left back, of course. Yeah. And Pat, I'm going to say this. I love the move by Courtois. I have said that Courtois is a good educator. Tactically, not sure he knows how to finish off games. I really like this move. So I don't know if it was him, if it was David Sauvry, if it was a member of the staff saying, guys, let's take a look at a lot of goals that we're giving up. Teams are coming down the left wing. They're crossing the ball in the box. And a forward from the other team ends up getting in behind the center back or in between the center back and Lassiter. And Lassiter, on many occasions, doesn't get back on time. We knew it wasn't his ideal position. And Sosa, obviously, is a lot better defensively than Lassiter. I think it was a genius move. I think it was a very, very smart move. I really approve. Ali, my question for you is, now you got Lassiter and Duke in behind Vilsaint. I know that Courtois says that in his ideal world, strikers can play as a 9, they can play as a 9.5, and they can play as a 10. But I think we've mentioned here on the podcast that I think we all like Vilsaint playing in behind the striker, where he's got a little bit more room to maneuver instead of being, boom, your number 9 striker. He's that number 9 striker on the weekend. What did you think, Ali?
I like the kid, Vilsaint, but I'm going to keep saying they have a lot of things that he need to learn. He need to learn. I hope then this season is going to focus on his detail to him, because I think he has to learn how to move. You have to learn where he is the best at it, because it's not a coach going to tell you where you're going to play or the system going to tell you how to play. Regardless, whatever they put you, you have to be able to make sure that you do the difference. And I keep going, then you know what?
Look, I don't want to embarrass you or anyone, Ali, but I'm going to tell you something I've told you before. I'm going to tell you again. You need to start working with him. You got to understand, so I thought, let's put the cards on the table. Vilsaint should have at least scored 1 on the weekend. He could have scored 2. He should have scored 1. He had a chance at the 38-minute mark where Choinière gave him a pass. He gets in behind the D. He's on the left side. He gets it on his right foot. He maybe takes a second too long. The defender puts a foot in front of him. Instead of going short side or cross corner, as I know you would love him to go, Ali, he puts it basically central up high. It's the easiest spot for the goalie to save it. In the 51-minute mark, there's a corner kick, which intercepted by CF Montreal. Within 3 passes, they're out of the zone. They're on a counterattack, and they're on a 2-on-1 with Duke to Vilsaint, who gives it to him. He slows down a bit, but it ends up becoming a 5-on-2. Now, he either has to take it sooner, he either has to take it more into the box, or he can even distribute to Choinière, who's making the run, was all alone, who, by the way, threw his arms up after Vilsaint decided to take the shot and missed the far corner. When this kid is on his game, he's scoring a goal, maybe he's scoring too. But there's a couple of wrong play selections on those two plays. I know Eddie Sabrango's there, guys. I know Eddie scored a ton of goals in his life. I know he can teach a lot. I don't know if this coaching staff, Pat, you would know better. You go to a lot of sessions. If this coaching staff uses Eddie to his full potential to make him work with the strikers one-on-one and teach them some tricks of the trade. But if they're not set up that way, Ali, you have a lot to teach this kid. He can learn a lot from you.
But it's not I don't try to sell my own. It's not even about that. It's more about Tony. The kid have to know when is decision making and to a certain situation, and then you can go and seek the help that you need. It's not me to convince you that you need to come and see Y. So you need to know that, you know what, when I sit down on my game and I review my game, why I'm always getting on those situations and I cannot make the difference. The same thing with Duke, because Duke, I think then he start moving a little bit better, but his decision making need to be better, faster, and efficiently. So that's what I say. Lester, you know what? He's the guy I've been liking a lot because it brings me that new energy that I didn't see. So for me, I'm still, you know what? It make the move is a little bit aggressive, and I like what they bring because I don't expecting him to be the goal scorer. Then they didn't sell me him like a goal scorer. He's dynamic. He'll do what he needs to do, and so far, very happy about him.
Pat.
Yeah, I don't want to be harsh on the players because, look, I know Eddie Sabrango, he solely works with the forwards. And we all know, I've heard and I've seen, Mason Toye is incredible in front of goal in training. But training and then the game is another situation, is another reality. And then some of these players, I know, they talk to Ali, they come to talk to me, we offer them help. At the end of the day, we're not going to run after them. If they really want the help, they know where we are. They call, and then we'll give out our expertise or what we know and what we can share. Then after that, in-game situation, that's where you're gonna have to pay. Because I don't mind that Vilsaint shoots. Because I've seen situations where Nacho Piatti is in front with 4 guys and he shoots, but he puts it on target. Either the goalie saves it or it's a goal. That's where you go, you guys just come out from a bad situation. Could it have been you lay it off to Choinière and he puts it in, or make sure you score? Now, at training, I'm pretty sure these guys are working at it and putting it in. But then at the end of the day, it's game time. That's where you are paid to make the difference. Or if you want to be paid the big bucks, you have to deliver on the game day. I was great in training, finishing, but I knew that wasn't my forte. That was Ali's thing. I was more final pass, I get into the box once in a while, but I didn't have the same composure as Ali. It's work, and then after that, I give him credit because he has the confidence to go out and take the shots. That I prefer a guy like that just lays it off to somebody else.
Vilsaint had 4 shots, and I think that's a strength as well.
Yeah, he's not afraid.
He missed a couple of chances, but he's not afraid to shoot. And as a matter of fact, if there are players on the team that would shoot as often as he does, they'd end up scoring more goals at the end of the year. He likes to shoot, and he shoots, but I just wish he had more space in behind the striker. Don't you guys prefer him there? Like he can play 9.
I prefer him where he's going to score.
Where's he going to score then, Ali? Where's he going to score?
That position, you need to find that position where he's going to be able to score.
Where would you play him? Where would you play him?
It's not about where I was playing. He's playing right now. He needs to score.
But the thing is, if I heard Courtois right, he did mention one time the 3 that put up front, I give them a little bit of freedom that they can intermove. And sometimes what I'd like to see, because I look at, I'm not going to compare, they're not at the same stage of career, but Cucho Hernandez with Wilfred Nancy is the number 9.
Yes.
But he has the freedom and he moves and he goes to the left. And he probably, when he moves to the left, the guy who's at the left comes into the middle.
Diego Rossi.
Yeah, so maybe Vilsaint talking with Lassiter and Duke. And like I said, we hope, Courtois mentioned it. Now, is it true that maybe Vilsaint goes, hey, Ariel, I want to be here. I want to touch the ball a bit more, come into the middle so I can connect. So because we all believe, at least what I've seen, he looks like he's better coming from a bit further distance.
I think so.
Then when he's back Tony, to goal, that's just me from what I've seen of him play. But like Ali says, I just feel that he can talk to Duke, say, hey, come in here. I want to come here. Maybe we can combine. I feel those guys don't talk to combine together and find the right solution for them as a team.
Tony, you keep asking his best position. Man, I'm going to explain to you why I don't answer, because I'm going to tell you something. As a forward, first of all, you need to have a character. What does that mean, character? To be able to impose yourself on the soccer field. I play different roles. I play 2 on top. I play by myself. I play behind the forward. You know what? They didn't put me there, but they put me behind. The only thing I knew how to do is to get to that space to my best advantage. It's not the position, because you can put me wide. I start wide. I used to play wide left, right, wide right. But I always going to find myself on the position then. You know what? Advantage me. The advantage me is what? The position where I can shoot at the goal. Because they can put you can start running from there and you still have the poor finishing in front of the box. It doesn't matter. So detail, and to make sure that you impose yourself as a forward, because Patrice said you can communicate with your player to can be like, you know what, push in front, or you go and ask the ball on your feet, turn, finish me the game, and I'll be like, you know what, good. I'll let you do that more often. But you want to ask me for something, then you can't even provide me to give me a reason for me to let you that freeness.
Yeah,
it's not given, it's earned.
All right, guys, we'll move on. Bryce Duke, it's been a roller coaster, right? It's been up, it's been down. We saw he played a very good game versus Miami. We saw every now and then he gets a good ball, but you know, in terms of his battle level, no, but you know, Ali, you know, number 10 is the most special player on the field. You know that, right? I mean, to have that number 10, I mean,
it's heavy, eh?
Nacho Piatti used to have number 10. Like,
heavy.
Whose idea?
Tony,
it's heavy. It's heavy. Whose idea was it to make him wear number 10, man?
No, that's where I agree with you, Tony.
Can we change that to number 30 right away, please? You'll be doing the kid the biggest favor of his life. Number 30, like Kramaski has it. You know, I
think number 10, as he came, we all, because when you have the number and you're playing an offensive position, people automatically assume they will compare you to Nacho, but they will compare you to anybody who has that number and supposed to provide you with creativity and opportunity at goal. And I think that's a heavy
to be dangerous all the time.
So, and that, I feel that the minute he arrived, because he arrived in a bad situation and he showed a breath of fresh air of what he was able to do at the time. But we spoke about it. I believe he's a connector. He's a guy who makes a lot of short passes, connects, but that final pass, he doesn't really do it often. How often have you seen him go, you know what, Vilsaint, next one time I'm playing you, and just go? I haven't seen that. And now he has the number 10, so we expect all of that. But I don't think he's the guy who's going to deliver. And soon, Opoku's back in training. Soon, Kokaro will be back in training. Martinez will be back. And then all these opportunities you got, you did not take them to say, hey, coach, I'm your guy, or I'm one of the guys. Because Ariel Lassiter, when he's been given the position, you saw, oh, okay, this guy can score. I want him in front of the goals because he's bringing me something that I haven't seen the rest of the team do.
Yeah, so speaking of Martinez, he's back in town. He arrived, I believe, in Montreal on Saturday, was there on Saturday night. You had a chance to see him. And based on what I think the commentators said in Spanish during the game, that Martinez said that he's going to come back a lot sooner than anticipated. So it looks like he is on his way back, which is good news. It looks like Opoku should be on his way back. But guys, look, they got one more game before a 2-week break because of international friendlies, okay? And which is going to be Wednesday night as they host DC United. Let's hear from, before we get to that, and what's going on Team Canada's perspective, because there is some good news for some CF Montreal players, for 2 of them, and some bad news for 2 others. Let's hear from Laurent Courtois at the end of the game.
say that, but I heard a couple of guys talking about stop the bleeding. I hate it, but it's just the reality of the moment. We didn't want certainly a heartbreaking scenario where the guy keep arriving around in front of the box and then at the last minute of the game, a corner kick, you consider on that type of scenario. So that would have been really heartbreaking, but the guy compete pretty hard too on those aspects. So yeah, I guess we're happy in a sense that we were able to get back to a standards of commitment and competitiveness, but we know we need more at home.
Guys, Laurent Courtois said at the end of the game that what you saw on Saturday, that has to be the minimum standard, right? It can't get lower than that. Also, you heard him. He said, guys were talking about stopping the bleeding. They were nervous, okay? It was like the ball was a hot potato at some points, right? It was a patate show. They did not want to lose that game. In the end, the 0-0 tie. Before we move on to Team Canada very quickly, Pat's got a radio hit to do. Guys, very quickly.
Oh, I'm free today.
Oh, you're free today. Okay.
Today
I didn't know that. All right. Okay, guys. The 0-0 tie, Ali, for you, felt more like a win or more like a loss?
And I'm gonna feel that one. It felt more like a good break, where we can have the standard to be like, you know what, we're starting a new run. You know what? I felt that, you know what, for me it was a win. Why? You know what? It gave you the perfection to be like, you know what, we can start on the new base to it. So that's the way I felt it. You know, even though I think then they have a couple of guys, then I showed them they rolled the sleeve and they went to work. And it was good to see. You can take me after Tony.
Yeah, winner or tie?
No, it was for me, I think morally for them to not take any goals. And as Ali mentioned, you saw tackles being a little bit meaner, being more physical, having a presence, things that we saw in the first games, but we didn't see the last 2 weeks. So yes, I think it's 2 points lost because it's at home. We can see, like, if anybody has watched last year to this year, there was 18 points taken. Now there's only 13 points taken. Last year was 5 home wins, and now it's 1-2-2. So
see, that's what I'm getting at, Pat. I understand the way Ali said it was a good break. I get it. For me, you got to win your games at home, guys. You got to win your games at home, man.
How are you gonna win when you're going with 6 losses in a row?
To be honest, the way they were, probably nervous, shaky, hoping not to take a goal and hoping, say, look, maybe we'll score first. We've been there. The confidence level, you've mentioned it, is not at the same level. 3 games before, maybe those goals, they score them. The game where he scores 2, where he scores a goal and an assist for Vilsaint, he was in confidence. He probably would have scored there, but they needed to say, we can go get a result. And at least maybe technically, we're not at the height where we come, but the engagement, that's what I was like. That's the base, the foundation.
Sirois was nervous too, Pat? We saw him give away the ball at the 33rd minute. He's trying to pass the ball to Choinière. It's nowhere close to him. It's directly on the foot of a Nashville player, and then Joel Waterman has to come in and off the line, actually redirect it out, smacks in with his knee onto one of the posts. It was a great game for Joel Waterman, by the way. I think one of his best games of the season for me.
Tony, why? He stopped playing. He started doing what you need to do. He was playing simple and clean.
Yes, 100%. He was playing simple and clean, and if he needed to skip a line, he would skip it. If he needed to play longer, he would play longer.
Yeah.
He
went back to his basic. He went back to his basic.
We mentioned in the last podcast, why play short, guys? You see the pressure just
for that player. For that, I don't want to say all players, guys, but for me, for that player in particular, with all due respect to him, I think less is more if we can understand each other. You know what I mean? More simple is what we're getting at. Okay, Pat. Team Canada, it was announced earlier today. They have a couple of friendlies. Let's bring it up if we can.
Ooh, big friendlies.
Monster friendly.
Do we have it here? Do we have it? Let me see. We probably
it's a great friendlies. Netherlands on the 6th, France on the 9th.
On the 9th.
Those are games we want to play. We know, Ali, we got to play Brazil. We got to play Spain or Czech Republic.
Excited. Excited.
You want to be. You know it's going to be tough.
Yeah, we should have it. We should have it any
dogs.
minute now. We should have it any minute now. We'll bring it up. Basically, guys, Chouanière and Piet are in for a couple of international friendlies, and Sirois and Waterman are out. We'll bring up the whole list of who Jesse Marsh has to play in these international friendlies. Once again, it's Moise Bombito, by the way, is a name that you're going to see there. That's an
he's going to fit the Jesse Marsh model quite well, because if they play the Red Bull style, you need a defender like that who has pace at the back. And Moise Bombito is a good player, but he has those attributes you need to be a center back at the style that Jesse Marsh will probably implement.
His speed is absolutely unbelievable. We should have it in about a minute. There we go. Okay, thank you very much. Maxime Crépeau, Dane St. Clair, Thomas McGill, and Gregoire Sudursky are your goalkeepers. Fullbacks, Alfonso Davies, Alistair Johnston, Richie Larea, Dominic Zator. Wow, isn't that something, guys? Center backs, Bombito, Cornelius, Luc de Fougeral, Kyle Hybert, and Kamal Miller. Midfielders, Mathieu Chouanière, Steven Eustachio, Ishmael Kone, Samuel Piet, Jonathan Osorio. Wingers, Charles-Andres Brim, Tejan Buchanan, Junior Hoylett, Liam Miller, and Jacob Schaffelberg that we saw on the weekend. Forwards, Theo Baird, Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, and Ikpe Ugbo. Are there any surprises, guys, for you guys? Any surprises?
Surprises, no, but I'm happy to see Junior Hoylett back. In terms
of even Pierre, he was a surprise for me.
I think Piet fits in a certain way. Look, Jesse Marsh will be embedded with the Red Bulls philosophy. So you need guys. Is he going to be a starter? I don't assume. But you're going to need guys where you're going to have to do the work in the middle, because it's not necessarily high press, but it's high tempo. Yeah. So I saw him in terms of what Jesse Marsh would like forward. We know the other guys, Ismail and Stephen Eustachio, are probably the leading center midfielders. You got Dominic Zator, who's from a CPL.
Yeah.
You would expect Jesse Marsh coming in to have guys who are just MLS or European based, but he's given a shot to somebody who's playing CPL and probably fits a profile that he likes. So that for him. And then the players will discover Grégoire Swiderski, that nobody really knows who's playing in Bordeaux. But I say Junior Hoylett because I think he was a player that missed, in my opinion, in his style of play. There's not many players. Actually, I think there's nobody who has his profile in that team.
Guys, I'm going to say I was surprised that Ali Ahmed's not there.
Yeah, that's true. If you're saying surprised we're not there, Ali Ahmed, I like that player. Vancouver, he's quality.
He works a lot. Quality.
He works. He's good on the ball. He's got volume. Now, who knows if he will get another shot at another time, but definitely it would have been interesting to see that kid play.
A right foot, but he can play left back. He can play right back. He can play wing back. He can play midfield. He's a very versatile player. He's a very good player. I'm a little bit surprised that he's not there, I have to say. But once again, it's not because you're not there that you won't be there for Copa America, right? So, guys, in ending, DC United and quite an aerial threat with Christian Benteke on Wednesday night. That's Stade Saputo. We're going to have a chance to see him. Your thoughts, Patrice, going into this 2-week international break? Do CF Montreal get a result versus DC United?
They need to. They need to get those points at home. We said in this stretch, they're getting the home games. So this is where you are going to balance out where you really are in the table. Because we said 7 games on the road, 6 games on the road. We'll wait till they play at home. You need to beat DC. DC is not far from you in the points tally.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it. That game they played in DC, they got put in trouble. And they came out with a result that was a bit favorable to them. Now they need to show that they can able to win at home, but it's going to be difficult. Benteke, what a presence on the field. And then aerially, there's nobody that does better than him in this league.
Yeah.
But it will be a show that what you did against Nashville, can you repeat it against an even better top forward and a team that's well organized, especially in pressing for DC United. So I expect a victory for them to finish off this month with positive and a break for June, or at least until
Ali?
the games.
Ali, the result, yes or no?
I hope they're gonna get a result because, like I say, they put a basic last game. Now they have to confirm that they're moving on with new things, and I hope for them they can make a difference. Like Patrice said, Benteke is one of my favorite. He's unbelievable on the air with the ball. So it's going to be a
true striker.
Exactly, and the timing of is unbelievable. So I saw a couple of people play like that. Gerba was one of those players, good timing in the air, but him is something else. So it's some of those games, and you know what, it's gonna take Waterman to be sharp, or the group in the back, whatever who's gonna play, they need to be solid. They need to come up with a game.
Kai Kamara back in his heyday was pretty special.
Yeah, him too. I mean, that's one of the top that I see on the league.
Yeah, you don't score all those goals that he scored by fluke, right? At one point. By the way, another young player missing, Jacob Russell-Rowe, but, it's hard to take a look at the strikers they have there and to take one out. I mean, it's pretty good company. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
Unfortunately, Canada has a plethora of strikers, which wasn't the case in the past. You only had Ali, then you had a bunch of defenders. Now it's the opposite. You had tons of forwards and not enough top defenders.
They got very good strikers. They used to have an amazing one too. His name was Ali Gerba, 15 goals in 31 games with the Canadian national team.
Great
Guys,
ratio.
Fantastic. You're right about that. Great collaboration today. Very much appreciated. Follow us at SickPod, CFMTL on Twitter, on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. Tell your friends about it. Merci beaucoup. Have a great day. And let's hope that CF Montreal comes away with a win on Wednesday night at Stade Saputo versus DC United. Ciao for now.
That's up.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, CF Montreal Talk on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.